One of the resources may be coming to the day center if the if the caregiver feels that she needs a break.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Michael. We do have the day center here at Cattery Hospital. We also have a center, an activity center at the Elders Lodge. And the Elders Lodge is run by Darlene Alfred under Home and Community Care, and she brings in clientele from the community who are at home isolated or want to socialize. She brings them there. Here at Cattery Hospital, the day center is geared for people with Alzheimer's dementia who need a little bit more special attention in regards that we do have a nurse on staff. They're in a facility, they're in the hospital, there are doctors here and trained staff to help with bringing people maybe to the bathroom or helping them with setups with their food and things like that. So our day center is one of the resources that can be utilized here in Kahnawake for caregiver burn.
And if they need a little more break, then day center they can come for respite care.
Respite care is brought to the attention of their doctor. Their doctor would send a referral to my attention here at Cattery Hospital. I would bring that information up to our multidisciplinary team that we meet once a week. We talk about our clientele here at Cattery Hospital and how we can help them stay at home, or if they need to come in for short-term care or long-term care at Cattery Hospital. So there's a team set up and we meet weekly. And for respite, that is one of the options that we have here at Cattery. And that would be determined by the doctor, of course, if the caregiver does need a little bit of a break. They're able to come here at least up to, I believe, 5 to 6 times out of the year, and it's a weekly basis. So they can have up to 6 weeks respite for the year.
Let's say, just say for instance, the person that has Alzheimer's, they don't want to come here, but their caregiver knows that they need a break still. Then how do you get around that?
We don't get around it. We try to work with the families and with the client and slowly integrate the client into the hospital. So what we started to do here at Cattery is sometimes maybe have them come in for half a day at the day center, get them familiar with the environment, have lunch with the day center with some of our staff here. They are accompanied by a family member. A loved one would come in with them. And try and integrate them into the facility that way. However, it doesn't always work. Everybody has rights, and if the caregiver feels that they are really stressed out and they do need a break, we try and help with getting other family members involved. It works very well when you have a large family. Unfortunately, when there's only one child or no children, that's where we kind of run into problems. But generally, Kahnawake is a wonderful community. There's a lot of care out there, and we do have a lot of families that do help each other when it comes in time of need to have some caregiver relief.
Yeah. What are the different stages of Alzheimer's?
There's an early stage, there's a middle to moderate stage, and then there's the late stage and end stage of Alzheimer's disease. So early on is the first steps. People would get their diagnosis. It's a good idea to put paperwork in place with family members regarding finances, getting your wills done, getting all your life in order in paperwork-wise, legal-wise. That's one of the first things that can be done. Once we get into the moderate and middle stages, that's when people start to kind of forget more. Either, it depends, people are different, so sometimes they're more tired or their behavior changes, their moods change. So it gets difficult for the caregivers to try and care for their loved one. And once they get to the advanced stages, that's a whole other dimension, and that's when the body functions start to shut down. The memory's not, the brain is not working as well as it was, and that's where we can look into possible hospitalization at that time, because it is a lot of work for caregivers.
When they are at home, Do they lose their autonomy right away, or it happens in stages?
Again, it does happen in stages. You're quite aware of things in the early stages. It's scary for people diagnosed with Alzheimer's to know in advance that they're going to be losing their autonomy. They're going to be losing the ability to drive, to take care of themselves, to bathe, to do their own shopping, to do their own banking. So all these things come at a loss, and it is scary. So we often recommend having support put in right away for the person. Maybe a social worker can be brought on board and help them through this process.
What are some of the real dangers for someone with Alzheimer's?
A lot of the dangers that I'm quite aware of in working here is the wandering part. Once people have advanced to the moderate to more severe stages of Alzheimer's, some of the people start wandering around. They're confused. They're in a different world, meaning that they could be younger in their minds and not recognizing their caregiver for who they are. It could be a wife or a husband, but because they have Alzheimer's and they're probably set back in when they were 8 or 9 or 10, they're looking for their mom, or they're looking for their own home, and they don't recognize things in their home. So that's when behaviors might change. They might become aggressive. There's also the sundowners, where it's a reversal. So they're up all night and they're sleeping all day. And then, of course, the wandering, that's another danger. If you're exhausted, you're a caregiver and you're tired and you fall asleep and your loved one is wandering, they could wander out into the streets, get lost. And, those are the scary things, more scary things that can happen.
That happens. We hope somebody looks out for one another.
Mm-hmm.
How long can a person live with Alzheimer's?
Well, of course, that would depend on people's their physical being as well. I'm not quite sure how long people can live.
Let's say that this person that we're talking about in general is their mom or their dad, but they're only about 8 or 9. How can you sensitize the rest of the family to say, mom or dad has Alzheimer's disease? What role can the younger member of the family play?
Excellent question. What I would think is, again, right from the beginning, if the person has been diagnosed early on, get the family on board right away. Even if they are younger, teens, that's one of the things that people do, is try and hide it or cover it up. They don't want people to know that they're going to be losing autonomy and have to rely on people or depend on people. So if we can kind of cut that part away from things and open it up and allow people to speak about it and bring people, their loved ones into it right from the beginning, I think that would help tremendously. And there's a lot of information, as I said, that we have here at Cattery Hospital that we could give to families. And like I said before, getting support put in place immediately and helping families go through it. Nobody's alone, so that's what we're here for, to help everybody get informed and help them out as best that we can.